Thank you very much, Brian. Yes, once again, this is Rocco Passafuime in for Halftime Howie on WGBB 1240 AM's Broadcasting on the Beach. And I'm going to take it to Mr. Joe Satriano once again, who is going to do this week's inspirational stories.
Well, thank you, Rocco, once again for having me on. You know, you brought up a segment before called 9/11. It just so happens that in my book, In Sickness and in Health, I did write a chapter called 9/11 Mourning, not spelled as morning, but M-O-U-R-N-I-N-G. I got to preface it a little bit by telling you that what was going on in our lives, Sue's and my life on that particular morning, we were waiting for a very important phone call from an oncologist, and the truth is that it was going to be a life-changing call. If it was going to be a positive one, we were going to continue on the protocol that he had given us. If it was going to be a negative one, we started to realize that we were running out of drugs very quickly. The way cancer works, especially if you're on a 13-year battle, once you use a drug, the cancer actually learns to mutate itself and actually live on the same drug that used to kill it. So now what you have to do is you have to find a new approach if that particular drug has lost its effectiveness. But at the same time, the world was witnessing an amazing tragedy that was going on downtown New York and also in Pennsylvania and in Washington. So I felt that it was necessary for me to write this chapter called 9/11 Mourning. As I said, we were waiting for a major result from an oncologist. Let me do just a little bit of reading. Questions remained. Would the combination of medications slow down the progress of cancer? Would it lead to another side effect in future weeks after the buildup of many weeks of treatment? Could Sue get a good long run of months with these new drugs, or dare I greedily and asks for years? If these didn't work for whatever reason, what would be next? How many medications and combinations were there left to try? There were new untested chemotherapies on the horizon, almost ready for the U.S. government approval. This feeling of more questions than answers mimicked the citizens of our country and the world with the 9/11 tragedies. This day became a turning point for America in how it dealt with terrorism. 9/11 was also a turning point, albeit a negative one, for Sue and me, and our struggles continued against cancer. America's freedom was being tested and pushed to great limits, as was Sue's and my freedom from cancer. You couldn't help thinking that that day terrorism was winning the war, and we couldn't help to think that cancer was beating Sue. It was a lost day for everyone. So that was a part of a parallel, actually, between America and what was going on in our lives at the time with 9/11.